Welcome to Visa Spotlight, a podcast by Visa that shines a light on the most exciting developments in the payments landscape right now, while also giving you a glimpse into what the future holds for us all.
Welcome to the Visa Spotlights podcast. In today's episode, we're going to look at some of the dynamics and the trends that are shaping the small and medium-sized business landscape across Central and Eastern Europe, Middle East and Africa. Now, SMBs are truly the backbone of any economy. They represent a majority of businesses and contribute more than 50% of employment and 50% of GDP. Yet despite this contribution, they face significant obstacles, whether that's accessing financial resources or truly leveraging the power of the digital economy. Today, we're going to explore that in more detail and look at some of the areas that issuing banks can take on to capture the opportunity, support SMBs' growth, and introduce new products, solutions, and services that directly meet the needs of small and medium-sized enterprises. We'll also look at some of the findings from Visa's SMB Megatrends study, which explores the SMB trend and landscape across 16 countries across the region. Joining me today is Shahebaz Khan, who has a wealth of experience across the payments world. Shahebaz leads commercial and money movement solutions for Visa across Central and Eastern Europe, Middle East and Africa. Shahebaz, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Good. Glad to have you here. So we're going to start today. Perhaps you could give a bit of an introduction to the SMB Megatrend study that I introduced and talk a bit more about what we're aiming to achieve and the opportunity that exists there.
Sure. As you said, Dan, SMBs are a lifeline for many of the economies across the world, more so in CEMEA. They provide a lot of innovation within the market. They support the economic growth of the countries. They also provide a lot of local employment and drive inclusion in the markets that they operate. And yet, they are an extremely misunderstood segment when it comes to meeting their financial needs and offering them products and services that meet their needs. Many times, many of our banks and financial institutions and fintechs actually target them or confuse them with consumer products, right? So they're offering products and services to the operator of to the owner of the business as a consumer, yet forgetting that they're also a business owner, and then they have a much wider set of needs when it comes to financial requirements as well as payment products that they need to run their business. We're extremely passionate about this segment because we believe that driving SME growth actually eventually leads to the growth of these economies that they operate in. And we commissioned this study across 16 markets in CEMEA with the intention of uncovering the unmet needs of this segment so that we can work with our partners and clients in these markets to deliver the right products and solutions that these businesses need to grow and thrive. We're super excited about these because some of the findings of the study are truly opened our eyes to the opportunity and why we believe this segment is going to really be a driving force going forward.
Great. Well, let's jump into there now. So what are some of the key findings that you saw in the study that you heard from SMBs, and how do they sort of vary across the fairly diverse region across Central Eastern Europe, Middle East, Africa?
So great question, Dan. There are 4 key themes that emerge out of the study. The first one is that the SMEs need tailored financial services to run their business. And what I mean by that is a variety of products that help them grow their business. It's access to credit, it's the ability to accept payments in a seamless manner from their consumers, whether they're online or they're offline. And they also need a lot of data about their working capital so that they can manage their working capital efficiently. So that's one of the major themes that sort of emerges out of the study. The second one is that in the wake of the pandemic, a lot of them have had this need to go online to find either service their existing customers or find new customer segments. So they are accessing social media and they're accessing e-commerce sites to sell their goods and services and reach new segments of their customers. The third key theme is around how they procure goods and services for their own needs from their suppliers. And there's this emerging trend of B2B marketplaces that comes out loud and clear across the board. And when you think about their behavior on attracting new customers and their behavior as buyers from suppliers, a lot of their business is shifted online. So they do need, convenient ways of accepting payments that are safe and secure that can help them run the business efficiently and effectively. So those are the 4 key themes across sort of the mega trends, as you may call it, across the different markets. Obviously, there are market nuances depending on how developed or emerging the markets are in each of the 16 markets that we've looked at. And I think that's why there is a need for financial institutions to look at these findings and tailor their approach to this segment to being able to succeed in them.
Fantastic. Well, it's great to see the different ways in which SMBs are capitalizing on the digital opportunity that exists and the level of innovation that SMBs are driving to sort of stay ahead of so many changes we've seen in consumer behavior over the last couple of years, and in terms of also being able to focus on their core business.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think one of the key sort of takeaways from the report is that SMBs clearly are not on their own on this. They have the great support from yourself and your team, but obviously the many issuing banks all across the 80 plus countries across CEMEA. Could you talk a little on how Visa's working with issuing banks in the region to be able to provide some of those tailored and customized solutions that really meet the needs of an SMB?
Sure. The first and foremost thing that we do extremely well is, having seen a lot of the payments data in the market and, commissioning studies like this, we have a significant amount of insight and data on the behavior of these segments. One of the ways we help our clients is by sharing these insights and data with our clients to help them understand the unmet need within the market. And once we've done that, we've also got teams of specialists within Visa, so whether it's our consulting team or our marketing team, that can work with our clients to develop value propositions that specifically target each of these segments and micro segments in some cases, so that we're able to offer a tailored product for that particular segment. So once you know what the segment wants, and once you know what value proposition you're going to offer to that particular segment, the third way Visa can help is we've got a very robust platform, like we do in our consumer products, for our small business products as well, that will help you deliver exactly what you need to deliver for that market. We've got a host of benefits on that platform. They're specifically targeted to small businesses as opposed to consumers, so that businesses can take advantage of those benefits. And lastly, we've got a wide array of products. So not just about issuing products, but also acceptance solutions, risk and identity solutions that our clients can leverage to make sure that the business's requirements are met.
Excellent. And now I know you've got well over a decade's experience in both retail banking and commercial banking. How have you seen some of the shift over the last few years in banks prioritizing the small business commercial space? And what are some of the benefits and opportunities which they're deriving from that focus?
Yeah, look, I have found it, I used to be in the retail bank side of the spectrum before, and now I've moved to commercial and small businesses. And I've actually found it to be a very easy conversation with the banks. And the reason for that is, if you look at the consumer space, it is highly fragmented, extremely competitive in many markets. There is margin compression in many of these markets. And yet, here is a segment that is largely untapped with a lot of unmet needs, and frankly can be more profitable than an average consumer. So if you think about a small business, there is a variety of products that a financial institution can target at these customers, right? So it's basically a issuance product from a small business card or a corporate card. It's an acceptance solution for them to be able to accept their payments online from their consumers or in store. There is a lot of data solutions that will help the businesses with getting a view of their working capital within the business. There is travel and entertainment. There's various kinds of different products that can be targeted at these customers. So if you think about it from a profitability perspective, there's a lot more products that can go into a small business as opposed to a consumer. The second thing I think of real value to our clients is the fact that these customers are extremely sticky. As a consumer, you tend to shop around for the best product or the best payment card. If you're happy with the services that your bank's providing you as a business, you will rarely move your relationship from that bank. So they're extremely sticky as long as their needs are being met. And then you can also go deeper into the relationship, right? So because businesses hire employees within their company, so you can even start offering them products that target their employees. So from an open segment that is largely untapped and highly profitable, I think it's an extremely easy conversation to be had with a financial institution.
Very good. And here's the 2 Ds of digitization and diversification, which I think is so critical to any
Absolutely.
When you look across the region, are there any sort of best practices or learnings that you've sort of taken from organizations that have done this incredibly well? And is there any sort of guidance you would share for issuing banks looking to sort of expand in this space further?
So I think the biggest piece of advice I can give to our partners to want to look into this segment is get to know them. Every bank that I have spoken to already has these customers as part of their base. So get to know these customers, find who they are. We can help with with helping you with that data to understand these customers. We have a lot of information and knowledge and insights into these segments that can help them craft a value proposition that is very specific to the unmet need of this segment, so that they're able to attract them to take on these products. And then the last thing I would say is, be part of the dialogue. There is small business growth is a imperative in many markets that we operate in. Visa is certainly part of the dialogue when it comes to shaping policy and regulation in these markets when it comes to small businesses. We would want our financial institutions to become part of that ecosystem so that we are all sort of, focused on helping these small businesses succeed.
Very good. Well, thank you, Shahebaz, for joining us today and sharing your insights. To our audience, we hope you've enjoyed the discussion and it sparked some ideas in terms of capturing this emerging SMB segment. For more information on Visa's SMB Megatrends report, or to find out around some of the products and services which issuing banks can leverage to capture the SMB marketplace, please click on the links in the bio and the podcast description. We'd love to hear your thoughts and look forward to catching you next time. Thank you.